What's going on, traders? Andrew O'Connell with Pristine Capital. Welcome to another market recap. It is June 2nd, 2021. Please go ahead and click the like button on this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. I will continue to make it for you. Today, we are going to talk about the price action in the indices. We had a crazy little meme stock rally today. We're going to go under the hood and check out our sectors and style factors. We'll talk about some of my trades for the day and what I did. And then we'll wrap up with some options order flow. Before we jump in, a quick risk disclaimer. Nothing in this video should be construed as advice or recommendations. Please follow your own trading plan and your own risk parameters. And last but certainly not least, do not YOLO your entire account into any one of my trades. All right, let's jump into it here. So we're going to take a look at our headline indices. So today, a pretty wild day of price action, even though not really much changes to the headline indices. We had the S&P 500 as measured by the SPY close up 0.16%. We had the NASDAQ QQQ close up 0.2%. That one was negative for part of the day. We had the IWM small caps finish up 0.12%. And we had the Dow Jones finish up 0.14%. So today was one of those days where if you were looking at the headline indices, there were certain parts of the day where it was like, oh gosh, we're about to slip into the abyss. Then they were, by the end of the day, it was like, okay, green lights, we're looking pretty good here. So you can see here, we've been in a balance area in the S&P 500 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Today is day 6 of this balance area. I will admit, yesterday's price action, yesterday's candle was not really the most confidence inspiring that I've seen. We pretty much got the breakout, and then the breakout failed, and we ended up closing red. But we did hold this 5-day exponential moving average. What I did not want to see is another distribution day. And a distribution day is when you have above average volume and you have a red candle. And essentially what that means, whenever you have a red candle, that just means on a net basis, from the open, there was selling in the market. So what you don't really want is you see 6 days in a row where there's just net selling. What that might tell you is, hey, there's some big institutions that are trying to sneak out of some positions. But this was good that we saw accumulation once more in the market. Next level to the upside I'm watching is this 4209.75. We're pretty much knocking on the door of this breakout. And that coincides with what we're seeing on this hourly chart as well. Our weekly value area high is this 4209.5. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. I would imagine we're going to play around at that level again. Most likely we're going to test it. Let's see if we can break through it. We also have to the downside this weekly point of control here at 4197.5. That function is really nice support for today's downdraft in the market that we had in the early afternoon. Let's pull up our NASDAQ. Pull up the NQ futures here. You can see NASDAQ, very, very similar chart. We've been in this balance area for a couple days now. And at this point, it's like, where's this breakout? When's it going to come? You can see we closed right into this resistance area. So in my opinion, this is not where I want to, take my foot off the gas just yet. But one thing to keep in mind, in terms of this rally, we are starting to get to the shiny object part of the rally. Definitely want to touch on this. You can see IWM looks really constructive here. We're holding this breakout, and you can see we're riding this 5-day EMA higher. So could we see continued price action to the upside? Definitely. From the way the Russell is looking, that definitely seems like a possibility. But in terms of this shiny object part of the rally, today was essentially like a big short squeeze day. If you were in the markets, everyone is talking about GameStop, AMC. We got to pull up this AMC chart. Oh my Lord, AMC was up 95.22% today. And I must say, I am a hawk in terms of watching the options order flow. And I've never seen more aggressive options order flow in my life. I've seen Tesla squeezes, GameStop squeezes, you name it. And today it was just like boom, 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 $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, and just like all these orders lumped together. So this was like the most powerful short squeeze I've ever seen, honestly. And you can see we didn't close on the highs today, but this stock here was kind of emblematic of the major theme we had going on in the market today. So when this is happening, and honestly you start to get a lot of garbage stocks that are making big moves, it's very easy to take your eye off the prize. And what I mean by that is, for me personally, I want to be in the best stocks that have the longest runway over really like an intermediate term time horizon. I want to be in the strongest names. They have strong fundamentals. They're beating their estimates. The chart pattern looks great. Institutions are accumulating them. What I notice can really start to happen with these meme stock rallies is, one, for people that correctly played this meme stock rally, they were likely an AMC from one of these bars down here. Maybe if you're a little late, you got in later. But I don't really know any pro traders that I talk to that are scaling into swing trades in a stock like AMC today. And the reason why is because the stock is so extended. Everyone sees like, oh my gosh, it went up 95%. So your eyes get really big and like, could this thing go to 100? Like you got really excited. I've seen this time and time again where by the time everyone in the financial media is talking about it, everyone on your Twitter feed is talking about it, everyone's bragging to you about how much they made, that's when the next part of this move comes into play. So it's always, you get the crazy meme stock rally, and then you get the crazy meme stock crash that nobody wants to buy the top of that or anything like that. So what can happen is, like, for instance, like Fubo is another one that looked really good. Yeah, this one's up 17%, really nice move. So what can happen, this one looks like it's a little bit earlier in the process, but it could be like, oh my gosh, like I got into AMC, I'm in GameStop, now I'm in Fubo, now I'm in Plug. And you end up with a portfolio of all just like horrible quality assets. And then inevitably, once they take their 30% drop or whatever it might be, then you're in a situation where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm stuck. Like I'm that guy that got stuck in the meme stock rally. So I think it's important, like for me especially, when I see this happening and like, I'm making good progress in my account, market's moving the way I want it to, we're getting all these good developments, I try to really just center myself and think like, okay, this is where I should be thinking about risk management, and this is where I should be thinking about an exit strategy. This is where I should be thinking about my scenario analysis for what would justify me exiting positions. So I think that's just very important to think about, because what happens is when things are going up like this, it feels like they're never going to go down, and it's like really exciting. And then when things are going down, it feels like they're never going to go up again, and it can be, really challenging. So I think it's important. The time to think about risk management is not when everything's falling apart and the VIX is heading to 30. That's not when to think about it. Really, the time to think about it is when things are moving the right way, hedge funds are getting squeezed, like all that stuff. So that's just something I'm trying to be cognizant of and keep in my mind. Let's jump into, we're going to go over real quick our market breadth. You can see breadth was really nice today. It was positive in 3 out of the 4 headline indices I track, negative in the IWM. One thing I do notice though is breadth is not quite as strong as it has been in the previous few trading sessions. We were at about half and half for most of these indices in terms of advancers and decliners, and at various points throughout the session, the SPY went negative in terms of breadth, Qs were negative at one point, Dow. So today was the day where we were really like teeter-tottering back and forth and towing that, bearish bullish line. Now, if we look at our heat map, another thing that I think is very interesting. So we have NVIDIA was a really strong name today. I traded this one via some short-term call options. Tesla, which normally leads a lot of these crazy gamma squeezes, typically leads a lot of the growth names, was down 3%. Let's pull up Tesla. It's definitely seeing some interesting dynamics here. Yeah, Tesla pulled back to the 200-day moving average. This is day 3 of red candles consecutively after, I had a pretty good run here. And so this is definitely, selling off on above average volume. Something I'm going to be watching, just to see like, what happens with these growth names and names like Tesla, especially because if you look at the cars ETF, this thing is really making some nice moves here. So this is telling me is that in terms of like electric cars and all the excitement around that, Tesla is not a beneficiary of that. Tesla is actually, that's a detriment to Tesla because you have all these new competitors that are jumping into their space and trying to eat their lunch. So definitely just want to keep observing that one. Nvidia, really nice move today. Some of these financials were nice movers, and then energy as well. Yeah, so you can see a lot of these energy names did well. REITs did well. So yeah, very interesting. Some different groups participating. Now, if we look at our sectors, you're going to see, very similar here. We had some groups that were, very deep red, others that were very strong today. So if you look at our top sectors now in terms of momentum, we have global autos in the top slot. We have energy in the number 2 slot. And then we have the gold miners in the number 3 slot. So some areas that normally don't get much love from the market. And then in our bottom slots here, you can see solar energy, biotech, and medical devices. And then taking a look at our style factors here, you can see best performing style factor was international value, up 0.86%. We also had another strong performer here, which was cyclicals, up 0.74%. And then our laggards, momentum was down 0.27%. And you can see growth stocks were up 0.2%. But they were a laggard. So let's take a look here. I actually did a lot of trading. So I've been pretty aggressive over the past couple of trading sessions. And this is where, like, this kind of environment is where I typically make a lot of progress in my account. So let's pull up. I'm going to do like a little bit of like highlight reel here because I don't want to make this video too long. So let's see here. For some common stock trades, I closed out my SI, and really I just wanted to make some room and, include the strongest names. Closed that one out for a nice winner. Paid 109.55 for that. Closed out for 115.23. Another one that I took a target in today was Roblox. I closed out 20% of my common shares for 99 bucks. I had paid an average cost of 73.91 for Roblox. Like I said here, still love this company long term, but never hurts to pay yourself when you're right. Taking a target when the stock gets extended allows me to be more objective when it pulls back. And Roblox, this is a tough one. This one's like my baby because I had a pretty differentiated view on this name when the stock was not really moving. And sometimes when you do a lot of fundamental research, it can actually harm your decision-making process because you get too attached to a name. Roblox, we can see, has had a really fantastic move out of this IPO base. This is a name I want to stick with because I'm really confident in the name. I think it has a really long runway. But for me, I'm like, you know what? I was in call options on this one before, took those off. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to pay myself on some of these common shares. I closed out 20% of them. That way, look how extended this thing is from the 20-day moving average. At some point, could it pull back to 83 bucks? Definitely could. And when that happens, I want to be in a situation where I'm not kicking myself like, wow, how greedy was I? I didn't even take a target up here. Or, oh my gosh, now I'm too overweight. I got to sell some. Yeah, because I had about 25% of my trading account in this name. So yeah, with the advance that I had, it just got, really big as a percentage of my account. So yeah, just did a little clip there. So I was pretty pumped about that. And then let's see. So we did a little snip of the Roblox. I added to my ETHE, so that's adding to my Ethereum position. Now that is my largest position. I just put do not do this at home. I had added to this, twice a little bit lower. And I think Ethereum and a lot of these cryptos, they've sort of been left for dead. I think these could have some nice moves in store. And you can see Ethereum up 3.83%. Really what I'm looking for is a move up to around like this 2,900 level or 3K level. Let's see here. I took some Upstart into the close for 153, spot 45. Upstart is a name. I have this one long in the long-term trend portfolio. And I've also been trading it pretty actively. This one, so far I've been having a lot of success trading it. So yeah, pick this one up as it breached this monthly value area high and it just kept running into the end of the session. So that one was good. And then let's see some options trades. So for options, yeah, I did a lot of options trading here. I had some NVIDIA June 18th calls that I swung from yesterday. Close was out for 2020. I paid $18.75. NVIDIA had a really nice move today. I did participate in the meme stock rally. So I just got long a GameStop call spread. June 11th, 270 by 280 call spread for 297. I closed it out later in the day for, yeah, it closed out for 347. So took, made about 50 cents on a 297 outlay. So I was like, you know what, a good like 20% winner in a day. I'll just take that. Airbnb, this one has been a really nice winner. This is another one where I had some differentiated analysis, which is pretty cool. Got so much pushback when I said I was getting long Airbnb, but now this one, of course, people are starting to get bullish on it. So Airbnb, and I think that's the key. I think a lot of the best traders out there, there's a major difference. If you can be in some of these names that really move 1 or 2 days ahead of your competition, meaning ahead of other market participants, ahead of a lot of the pumps that you see on Twitter after stocks have already moved, that's really going to separate your performance over time. And Airbnb is one that we're able to catch early. And this one, I took a piece of my trade, so I was getting really long down here. And this one just looked like it was primed and ready to go. So I actually took my very short-term calls off yesterday for a nice, I think it was like a 60% winner. Then I closed out. I got so long Airbnb. I'm long October calls. Then I put on June calls. Then I put on July call spreads. So I'm just trying to be prudent and layer out of the position as it goes up, because you don't want to get greedy either. So yeah, this one, really nice move. I think this one could go all the way up to this 175 marker, or at the very least this 50-day simple moving average at 163. And I took off my call spreads. I had the July 16th 145 by 155 call spreads on. I paid $233 for those, and I took them off today for $452. So that's, almost a 100% gain. So I was like, you know what, I'm booking that. If I'm getting, a double, and I've only held these things for a couple trading days, I'm going to have to wait until July to really monetize that, the rest of that anyway. I was like, I'll take that off. So now I'm still long some October calls for Airbnb, and that was the first position I added in that name. I took some GDX calls. I took some ConAgra, PDD. This will be the last one I go through. I'm long Snapchat as well. PDD. I got along some June 18th 140 strike calls. And I think some of these Chinese equities could really be ready for some nice moves. PDD had that explosion bar yesterday. And a really nice wedge pop setup here. So, yeah, got a really nice move yesterday. And then today we tried to pull back, and this one was bought off the dip. So I got long some June 18th calls. Those are very highly speculative. You need a very fast move for those to work. So I took those into the close. I don't know what does it for my trades for the day. Yeah, today was, a really fruitful trading day. And what was important to me was I need to book some and just make sure I'm paying myself and all that good stuff. Let's take a quick look. We'll pull up our options order flow very quickly here, and you will see a lot of options order flow today. You'll see what I mean by all the AMC order flow. So AMC, more AMC. Some NVIDIA action. You can see more AMC throughout the day. So it was very steady throughout the trading session. Look at all this. So for the most part, the options order flow, it's a lot of meme stocks. And you can see SoFi. This one just switched. It was IPOE. Now it is SoFi. And you can see, let's pull this one up. Had its big debut the other day. Yeah, you can see this one was up 2.47% as of yesterday. That about does it for this market recap video. Hope you all enjoyed. If you're interested in becoming a member of the Pristine Capital trading community, feel free to reach out to me. You can always send me a DM on Twitter if you're interested in doing a free trial, anything of that nature. And I hope you all have an awesome rest of your evening. I'm actually going to go smash a workout right now. I'm going to drink some pre-workout and get after it. So I'll see you guys all tomorrow.